We all have a belief system in place, and that's good. That's our worldview. Our bodies and our brains are designed to defend that belief system. And it's normal that it takes work to change that belief system. Most of us have never investigated if our belief system makes sense when it comes to how we deal with grief. For example, I still struggle on the tip of my tongue all the time. I want to say, oh, don't feel bad. Don't worry. When someone is suffering that I care about, I just want to say, don't feel bad. But it doesn't make sense. If someone feels bad, there's a reason for it. But I still am very uncomfortable with negative feelings. It's getting much, much, much better. I can tell I still have a ways to go. Some of us have never stopped to think about whether or not keeping busy or the notion that time heals is really true and beneficial for us or not. These myths, the short-term energy relieving behaviors, many of them are good and beneficial, and they have their place, and they're important, and they're even needed at times. The illusion, however, is that if we persist in using these tools, these behaviors, we will actually recover. That is not true. And that's why we talk about them as being myths. So here is a fact that I hope you'll recognize as being true. In response to grief events, things like trauma, unmet hopes, dreams, or expectations, stress, anything we wish had been different or better or more in any important emotional relationship for us, abuse, there is emotional energy in our bodies because of these events. Where do you feel it? In your gut, maybe, in your throat, in your head, in your back? Do your legs grow weak? Do you feel a wave, maybe, of worry or shame, heat, cold? We are designed as babies to come into this world as a naturally, emotionally processing plant. We're designed to naturally metabolize this energy authentically in real time. But sadly, most of us become socialized, beginning in childhood, to store up any negative emotional energy and keep it inside and out of sight. So we stop being the natural emotional processing plant, and we become emotional storage tanks, which is very bad for our health and for other relationships. You could think about it sort of as the image of a steam kettle, a tea kettle. If you imagine the tea kettle, the fire is underneath it, the water is boiling inside, and the only escape valve for all that emotional energy is the steam spout, but it is stoppered up with our beliefs that it just takes time, that I just need to keep busy, and with the STERBing behavior that I engage in, the short-term energy relieving behaviors I engage in. What we are saying is that often we misuse these behaviors, keeping them in place in the stopper of our tea kettle far too long, thinking that somehow we're going to feel better one day. But in fact, inside the tea kettle, the pressure is building and building and building and building until one more huge event, and now we've damaged our health or we've damaged a relationship because there's been such an explosion or implosion. The energy has to go somewhere eventually. So here we are, sitting on top of our tea kettle of emotional energy inside. Our heart, our gut, is the source of all of our grief and emotional energy. Hopefully it's becoming clear to us that behaviors like the short-term energy relieving behaviors, the STERBs, and intellectual statements are the wrong tools for healing a broken heart. Grief is about a broken heart, not a broken brain. In the same way as a hammer or a screwdriver is a perfectly good tool, it's not so great if our goal is to paint a wall. Happy painting.